Welcome back. Casey Campbell here with Great Lakes Post, and we are pleased to be joined by the 2021 Indy Lights Series champion, Kyle Kirkwood. How's it going there, man?
It's going good. Just back home in Florida now after a long trip. We had Portland, Laguna. I went to Long Beach. Then we had Mid-Ohio to end off the season. And it's nice to get a breather from a very full season.
Well, this has been a pretty full season for you. I know, you had a pretty good championship battle because for a while, I don't think a lot of people really knew who was going to win it between. We all knew you were going to be in contention, but we didn't know that David was going to be the performance that he had. But overall, how do you think this battle went for you, and what's it been like being the champion?
I mean, there's a lot of ups and downs, right? We started off the year pretty slow. I mean, for some reason, every single year, my worst event of the season is usually my first one. And so at least we got that one out of the way. And then from there, we're just kind of playing catch up. And we went on a nice winning streak there, which I've done in the past. But David definitely broke that when we went to St. Louis, then we went to Portland, because their cars were phenomenal at both those places for whatever reason. There's a lot of places. I mean, to be honest, for most of the season, they were better than us, but we were fortunate enough to play some catch up and figure things out at a few races. If I look back at it throughout the entire season, I mean, what really won us the championship was our performance at Portland, because we just weren't fast there. We qualified fourth and fifth, a few tenths off the pace. And it's like, man, this is not looking good because we're already behind in the championship. What are we going to do to be able to catch up? And fortunately, we were able to turn a fourth and fifth place starting spot into a first and second, which I think, yeah, looking back at it, that's what really won us the championship. So they definitely kept us on our toes. David has done a lot of maturing in the past few years, and he's not making many mistakes. And clearly it came down to really him and I. And yeah, a lot of people didn't know who was going to win the championship, and neither did we.
Yeah. I mean, I've known you for a long time, and I know a lot of people have seen what you've been doing across the Indy, like in the Road to Indy platform. You look at the dominance in USF 2000, then you went to Indy Pro 2000, dominated there, and then Indy Lights, you came there, and then COVID happened, and then all that. What has it been like driving in this program? Because what just the ups and downs of it, really.
Yeah, well, I mean, fortunately, there's been a lot more ups than downs for me. The USF and Indy Pro seasons were really good. I've done all three categories in the Road to Indy, and it's all been with different teams. And I think every time I ended up in probably the best car for the situation. So I'm very fortunate with that. Cape Motorsports, I think I was the 8th or 9th championship in a row with them. RP they showed a lot of potential the year before, and they put a massive effort in for the 19 season, and it worked out perfectly. We had the best car then, and this year I ended up with the car that's won the past 2 championships. We've had really, really good seasons, but at the same time, I've always been in a really good car as well. So a lot of it's due to the teams that I've ended up with.
Yeah, for sure. So now that you're out of this, now that you've won in all 3 levels, what's next?
I mean, IndyCar, hopefully. Yeah. That is the ultimate plan, right? It guarantees you three races.
Right.
The scholarship does, but at the same time, it's like I don't want to just do 3 races. I want to drive full time in IndyCar. That's always been my goal as a kid, and I mean, I've done everything that I possibly could, I think, to get to that point. So yeah, I mean, hopefully we end up in a full-time seat, but I honestly don't know where we're going to end up for next year.
So that was literally my next question. So
yeah.
Really coming from that, I know you've been talking to a lot of people, and you and your team have been your management team have been talking to a lot of people in regards to where you're going to end up. How's that process going? I know you've been talking to a lot of teams. I know you don't have anything yet, but how's that process going?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of possibilities, but there's nothing. I stay a little bit, I guess, pessimistic about the
Okay.
about all of it because I'm not really sure exactly what's going to happen. I've had deals fall through before and in my racing career, so I don't really get my hopes up until there's a contract sitting in front of me. But we've talked with literally every team in IndyCar, and I think everyone but except for Foyt, I would say that's the only team that we have yet to talk to. So I mean, I'm not really sure what's going to end up happening. There's not a lot of seats that are open. I think most of them are all already spoken for, even if it's not announced. So it's tough, but I mean, I think one way or another it's going to work out. A lot of my seasons that I've had, everything's came together within a week or two notice. So we're still very early. We just started the off season, so I'm not pressed to try and get anything done right now.
Well, your 2021 racing season isn't over just yet. I know you're going to be at Petit Le Mans.
Yes, definitely.
So I know that you'll be, I think you'll be in the 14, I want to say.
Yeah, I'll be in the 14 with Jack Hawksworth and Aaron Telitz.
And of course,
they finished second there last year. So our cars, we seem to be pretty good around Road Atlanta.
And your Indy Lights teammate Robert McGinnis will be in the 12. So
yes, that is correct.
Yep. So I know that you two. I know you benefited from that, but when you look at and you also have the IMSA route as well. If things, sometimes don't work out, I'm sure sports car racing has done pretty well for you so far. But that's another option to consider, of course, and something that you did a lot during COVID last year when Indy Lights didn't run in 2020. But what has sports car racing done for your career as a driver?
It's been pretty big. I've never been a sports car guy. I've always done open wheel all the way from karting all the way up. And I got the opportunity with Lexus and Vassar Sullivan last year to jump into the 12 car. And I was quick right out of the gate. And it's just a really fun atmosphere racing IMSA, driving with multiple other guys in the same car. It's super fun. And it actually taught me a lot last year between fuel saving, tire saving, strategy, pit stops, all that stuff that I wouldn't have learned in lights because you go into these lower categories in the junior formulas, and it's just push. There's no pit stops. There's no saving of anything. So I've actually learned a lot from doing it, and it's going to be helpful if I take that information to IndyCar next year.
Nice. Okay. So now that all the business is out of the way, let's have some fun. We didn't do this with you yet this year, but let's get to know you a little bit, Kyle. I got to make these interviews interesting because that's
cool.
Okay, so what is something that you're not very good at?
Oh man, golf. if I want it, I want to be good at it, but I'm not very good at it. That's the number one thing, probably.
What's the toughest thing to balance as a driver, you think?
That is a good question. Balance in what sense?
Like trying to do driving the car and all the other things that are involved in being a race car driver,
Well, I mean, I think not letting your head get wrapped into some of the stuff on social media. I've seen a lot of drivers kind of burn away or get burnt out because they listen to what people say on social media and listen to what everyone has to say. And it can break people down. So trying to just focus on yourself and focus on what you need to do on track to get the job done is super important, I think, and balancing that out while still being sociable, right? You can't just ignore all social media. That's a big part of a racer's life. But I guess ignoring the bad stuff is definitely tough to do.
Yeah, for sure. It's a tough balance for sure. I know you live in Florida. I know you did a lot of fun stuff yesterday. I know you and Logan Sargent were hanging out in the water. How was that?
Yeah. So, I mean, well, when I got home, I went from Ohio to Indianapolis, flew from Indianapolis back here on Monday night. Tuesday, I surfed literally all day with Oliver Askew and a couple of our friends from here. And then yesterday, I went out with Logan Sargent on his boat and we just hung out and what's called Boca Lake, which is right there at the inlet in Boca, Florida.
Right.
Yeah, so it's when I get home, I do as much as I can on the water. I've grown up fishing, surfing, diving, all that stuff. So when you're in the middle of the country for a long period of time, it starts to wear on me, because you're taking away a little bit of what my childhood was, right? So yeah, so it's nice to get home and get back out on the water and do all the things that I grew up doing.
Yeah, I know you're, of course, a proud Florida boy. So, with that, so favorite? Are you binge watching anything? If you have the time to do it, are you watching anything?
No, not really. Literally no TV. I don't go on, or I haven't. I did binge watch when I was in COVID. I forget what I even watched on that. But no, at the moment,
Yeah.
I've been pushing so hard to get through the season. Now it's over, and I still haven't had time to really simmer down, if you will.
Well, the thing is, when you're a race car driver, you never have the time. So,
No,
especially,
no.
well, you do live in you do live in Florida, so you're always, out on, boats and all that stuff and all that.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
I prefer to be out on the water than watching Netflix in my
that of
room.
course, that is for sure, unless you're in the middle of the country. Um,
Yes.
you are positioned very perfectly, I will say.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Do you have a favorite sports team you root for?
Um, I should say the Yankees, considering they're involved with Andretti Autosport. I actually went to a Yankees game. What was it? It was a couple months ago. I went to New York City for the first time, and
Nice.
George Steinbrenner hooked me up with some tickets near the Yankees dugout, which was really cool. Shout out to him. Thank you for that. And I never followed baseball before then, but after I went to one of the games, I was like, this is actually pretty cool. It's a lot of pressure on just one person all the time, even though it's a very big team sport. It seems like it's got to be so stressful for those guys. So I respect what they do. Otherwise, I don't really follow that many other sports, to be
Right.
honest.
Yeah. Let's not talk about the Yankees because of what happened on Tuesday.
No.
Yeah. We'll not go into that. My New York friends are not happy. I'll just say. Okay. So favorite movie?
I'm not sure. I've got a list of them. You can go from like Talladega Nights, Ford versus Ferrari, Catch Me If You Can, Wolf of Wall Street. There's a ton of good movies. I couldn't pinpoint one that's really good, I think.
Yeah. Was there a time like where you like if name like something that you like lost track of time with like something?
Names I lost track of time with.
So like you were
like
doing
my
something
pretty
and
much pretty much my entire 2020 year, I was confused what day of the week it was. So probably I'm not sure if I'm understanding the question correctly, because I tend not to really lose track of time very much. But
all right, I should have explained that better. But what's what's your go-to place for food?
Go-to place for food, like that I could go to anywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, what I've got an obsession with is McAllister's Deli. We don't have those in South Florida though, but anytime I'm near one, I just got to go to them. I don't know. I'm not sure why, but their sandwiches are awesome.
Is it like David Malucas's addiction with coffee?
Not to that extent. That entire team is addicted to coffee. It's not just David. It's his dad. It's everyone over there, really. So but no, if I had a go-to place to go and I was like, you gave me a bunch of options and McAllister's Deli was on it, I'd go there.
Okay. Yeah, I have to go visit a McAllister's Deli or something like that.
There's a few in Indianapolis if you're in Indy.
I thought it was going to be in Indy this weekend, but who knows? And finally, name 3 things people do not know about Kyle Kirkwood.
I feel like everyone knows most of the stuff about me, but one of them would be I don't come from a racing background at all.
Yeah.
I guess I can say this is the second one. My entire family background. My dad played soccer, and ended up becoming a realtor.
That's
Professional soccer,
Yeah.
and so did my brother. So both that's kind of been like the family tradition was playing soccer and I guess becoming a realtor. That's what both of them did. I took a very different route, which my family had no idea what we were getting ourselves into when they put me into a go-kart at the age of 5. And but I guess what's another thing that people don't know about me?
I don't know. I mean, I've known you.
I don't really know, to be honest.
No.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, who knows? There's always something out there, but we'll
Yeah.
have to figure it out.
I would say like that I'm big into surfing, fishing, all that stuff. Like I do everything on the water.
Florida. Everyone already knows that. I mean, you
Yeah,
could
exactly. But everyone already knows that.
Interested in any of those things, though.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
All right.
To be honest.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Kyle Kirkwood, thanks so much for coming on and talking with us. And congratulations on winning the 2021 Indy Lights Series Championship.
Thank you so much, Casey. Appreciate you.